What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the House of Holocrons podcast, episode number 71. And in this one, we're going to be talking about, of course, the finale, the sad but amazing finale that was the Bad Batch. We also have some news, of course, with things from games coming out soon to card games to comics and so many more. So, thank you so much for joining us. Let's go ahead and start getting into these. So, with some of the news that we have. And of course, I have May the 4th coming up. So by the time that this airs, there might be a few more things announced. But as we don't film this before Saturday, we won't actually have the May the 4th releases. So there will be another video with that because there's going to be a lot of things. Expect discounts from all your major brands, your major dealers like Amazon and Target. They're doing things right now actually. Like Black Series figures are like 20 something percent cheaper on Target right now, even pre-orders. So that's pretty cool. We have the game though. Was it Hunters? I believe Star Wars Hunters.
Yes. It's a cell phone slash Switch game. I think it,
Looks entertaining for me. I know definitely like a good little thing
yeah,
just to be playing in the
it's a
waiting
MOBA,
room.
isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
It's
I
kind of
think
like
it's
an
a MOBA.
Overwatchy
Yeah.
vibe to it, which I'm happy with a Star Wars skin on almost anything. But that's definitely something I can see myself playing when I'm just sitting in a waiting room or getting my tires changed or something.
I think it's one of our major news, and it's
Yeah.
mostly because everything else is waiting for this weekend,
Hmm.
May the 4th. Because I know there's several jobs. It's like they're like teasing like May 3rd or May 4th. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, guess I'll
Yeah,
find
there's
out.
I mean, even for the Black Series and like Vintage Collection, the collectible side of things too, Hasbro is doing a live stream, I believe Friday at 2 p.m. or about 10 or something, like 10 or 11 p.m. or something like that, which they do almost every May the 4th and around that time period. So that's not uncommon, but there's going to be a lot of news there, especially for figures, for deals, for new releases, pipelines, stuff like that, which is always exciting for me. I'm always really down for that.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of new drops from a new show by next
Hmm.
podcast for sure, because we'll have the Tales of the Empire.
Yeah, and if it's like the last time these have aired, then it should be the entire season pretty much dropping all at once. So that'll give
It
us.
has been confirmed that
Oh,
it
it is?
is.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. So, yeah, just hope it'd be something to really binge into and like dive into and have a lot of fun with, which that'll be really good. We might cut it up into two parts so we can talk about each episode thoroughly if it is very like thick and has a lot, of points into it. That's going to just be fun though. Again, really furthering this year of the dark side that is 2024.
Yeah, I'm the only disappointed. I wish it was more dark side, but
Yeah.
hopefully there's more to come.
Hmm.
Um, it's more than we've gotten in this past.
A new
So that's cool.
teaser brought us a new animated Vader, and that I think looked really good. That new animated Vader looked freaking awesome, I think, but promising to say the least because they're capturing this this part of the Empire pretty good. So I'm excited to see more Inquisitors. That's always fun.
Yeah, I think we see a teaser with the had both Vader and
Hmm.
Grievous in it,
Yeah,
if I recall. Like,
yeah, Morgan, Elsbeth, and all those people taking on Grievous. That's going to be fun.
haven't
Um,
seen him in a while.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, we really haven't. I wonder if they're gonna have him like have lines, or if he's just gonna be kind of like a ghost. I hope he has lines because we haven't really
I,
heard of Grievous in a minute.
with the previous tells, it was kind of like they started in the past, so I'm
Hmm.
assuming they're gonna start in the past, um, with during the Clone Wars. Because if Grievous is there, it's got to be during the Clone Wars. So
Yeah, I know we probably another announcement that'll be coming out on May the 4th, but at least in I think June was the big announcement. Star Wars Unlimited, which is the new card game that's being really pushed by Fantasy Flight Games, which is my favorite tabletop for Star Wars. They have a really good Fantasy Flight tabletop Star Wars like
yeah,
set in
yeah,
rules.
the card game's pretty good. I know people that do play it a bunch. I haven't got a chance to really dive into it.
Hmm. It's not something
I
else
know,
I need to get into, but I want to.
I know it's really themed off. It reminds me. It's like they took a lot of like cool parts of good card games.
Yeah.
They took the major part of it. Kind of reminds me of how Magic works with Commander, where
Yeah.
you have one lead character.
Mm-hmm.
Um, though that's not new to a card game, but that's been popular these days with Magic Commander, which is probably one of the most played formats of right now in general.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's the most played format in Magic, and I'm pretty sure it outbeats any other card game right now. I know Lorcana is still shooting up there, but
Yeah.
I think the only thing I'm surprised is they still went ahead with it because it competes with Lorcana.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a totally different game. Where Lorcana is like, I would say it's kind of it has more ties. Almost reminds me a little bit of Pokemon of
Yeah.
how the back and forth works.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's pretty decent. I might give it a try one of these days. But yeah, I haven't had the extra money to jump in
Yeah,
to a
that's what I
new
was
card
saying.
game.
I hopefully though, I might be able to pick up a few booster packs here and there and look into it because it looks like fun,
Yeah,
and I'm excited for that. They'll be getting I think a Darth Maul and another like Dark Side set that'll be coming out
yeah.
here soon for new cards. So that's always exciting. Those booster sets now you try to get this. It's the other thing is how like rare these cards already are. If you get one of the ultimate like rare commander cards, it's already like well into like $200. The booster pack sets that are sold out everywhere but online scalpers is like already $200 just for the same pack that's like retail of like 60. It's like damn.
There's places to get it.
Yeah.
Go to your local game stores. They'll definitely have them over. Walmart's are the ones where people usually buy out, but local game
Mm-hmm.
stores usually don't. Usually are great at keeping in stock. Um, yeah, I always recommend go to local game
Yeah.
stores first, and then there's a site. If you are looking for these, it's called TCG Player. It actually is bought by eBay, which I kind of
Mm-hmm.
was disappointed, but it's still run by the same people. Essentially, it is just imagine eBay, except all the people selling the cards on there, they only sell trading cards,
Yeah.
are local game stores. So they have verified local game stores that literally just sell their inventory um, through TCG Player. So
Mm-hmm.
it's basically going to a card shop, but in online. I actually know a few game stores that don't really run a store anymore. They only do TCG Player because they get more sales because it's really difficult
Yeah.
to run a game store right now.
Well, and the internet makes it so much easier because you can just open it up and the entire world can see you know, your warehouse now. So it makes it so much easier. So I don't blame anyone for that. And it's
It's
a
yeah.
really good way to get very specific cards that you're really looking for of a certain mint or a certain rarity.
So I highly recommend it over
Yeah.
if you can use your local game store or TCG Player as both are local game
Hmm.
stores in a sense.
And the same
Um,
with comics.
it
There've been a lot
yeah
of really amazing
yeah
comics lately.
they have an equivalent I believe for a com. I
Yes,
think
they
there's a
do.
site that's yeah.
Yeah.
I recommend that over because not only you're supporting a local business,
Hmm.
but sometimes you will find better deals. Whereas like Amazon, the
Yeah.
only time you get a good deal is either when you catch it as an early pre-order or when the set's already died down in popularity. Um, and Walmart you're lucky to ever see anything there. Um, so yeah,
Hmm.
and you might pay a little bit more than what you because sometimes Amazon outcuts those prices
Yeah.
cheaper than what they should be selling. That's kind of frustrating, but yeah, for somebody that plays a lot of card games, I recommend that. Especially supporting your local businesses is much
Yeah.
better.
That's the big thing I've been finding with comics lately too is getting variants and the ones I've been really looking for. I used to be a man of just one cover, but now if
Yeah,
I see a really good variant, I just can't say no anymore.
it's the same thing with me with the cards.
Yeah.
I run multiple decks and I want a specific printing, and then of course I want a specific edition. That's one thing that's good about TCG Player
Hmm.
is I can search up the card name. It shows all the variants, and then I click on the card, and then I can pick foil, non-foil. Then I can pick whether it's and they have different words where it's like new mint, near mint,
Yeah.
damage, all the different in betweens. So you can either save money by getting, something that's slightly damaged, or you get
Mm-hmm.
a pristine copy. And then you'll see all the different game stores by name that have those listed. And you can
Yeah.
also sort it by whatever price, shipping. And most of them also do bulk. They'll be like if you spend $5, then shipping's free,
Mm-hmm.
or shipping's like a set amount, or if you spend
Yeah.
$50, you get, yeah. So that's it's cool that they're able to do that. So yeah, if you want to get in the Star Wars card game, for sure, check that out. We're not sponsored, but
One of these
that's it.
days. Hey, if Fantasy
That's
Flight wants to
advice.
sponsor us, we'll start playing the game on the podcast. Like we'll have a battle every podcast. Don't worry.
I I specifically have a camera stand just for
Yeah.
filming me
So
playing card games,
there we go.
so
Hey,
I
Fantasy
can
Flight.
actually do that.
Shout out if you want to sponsor this podcast. Go right ahead. We'll pimp it out. Anyway, uh, things that were also very, very crazy, very, very stellar, very, very heart wrenching. And I'm not even talking about the Bad Batch.
Yeah,
Has just been this amazing outpouring of things going on for May the 4th. And I honestly think this is one of the most exciting May the 4ths we've had in a while. There's a lot of events going on. Like I feel like local events. I have a local comic shop near me doing a free comic book day slash Star Wars Day event. The library near me has Tessa Gratton, one of the authors, coming in, so I'm going to see her so I can get a book signing. Like this Star Wars Day is pretty busy, and there's a lot going on both online and offline, and that's honestly really cool. Like I feel like they're kind of pushing it back out again. They're doing a lot
yeah,
more like sponsoring of Star Wars and really trying to get Star Wars pushed out into not only the media but just like into everyone
yeah.
else's normal day.
They really need to, because they really built up the fandom with the new shows, and then now we're kind of about to go into another we call show drought.
Yeah,
Um, and there's a lot of fans that don't touch these animated shows.
true.
So they really need to keep these fans' attention if they want to keep the numbers up, for sure. So it is smart. One thing that companies don't do enough these days
Hmm.
is support these local events. They used
Yeah.
to back in like the late '90s and well '90s in general.
Look at this bad boy. These used to be everywhere. Man, if we had the same kind of like sponsorship that the Phantom Menace had in the early 2000s compared to everything else, it'd be crazy.
Or even then for events, I remember
Yeah.
local events for stuff were often sponsored. Even
Hmm.
with the small town that I grew up in, major things going on, or these companies.
Hmm.
When malls were more of a thing, you'd get that a lot with malls and movie theaters, and sadly those aren't as a big place now.
Right.
I'm I've definitely, but yeah, for sure, comic stores and theaters will be a big hot spot for this weekend. Especially theaters with the re-release of episode one.
Yep, that's gonna be a
Um,
good one. I am this Friday. I've been really fighting with it. I'm gonna try and pick up one of those posters. Like I don't really have the wall space for it, but man, I want to make sure I grab one before they like go into the void. That new official art that's been coming out for all these posters has just been so good. Maybe I need, or I'll just grab one of those buckets. Cinemark has the buckets and the glasses for like sale on their website. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool.
I need to do
Target,
the posters. Why don't they do the posters? They don't.
right? Yeah, I'll never understand why they don't do the posters either. That's always been a strange thing. But then I was actually sent to Target not long ago to try and grab a tumbler from. Then I was like this awesome like just like this. It's pretty much a Tatooinean sunset. It has the binary suns in it. Just it's a gorgeous little like Scotch whiskey tumbler. But they didn't have it out yet. But there's a lot of placements for this stuff. So even things like the Targets and WalMarts, they're getting a lot of weird little glasses and things for May the 4th, which is going to be good. May the 4th has become a lot more, I think, of a world phenomenon. A lot of people are drawn, of course, to the big Disney World and Disneyland attraction because then it's like a Star Wars day. Everything's a little bit more fun. But I'm just happy to see that all the big corporations are still interested in picking up these like fun little fan base days because this is going to help us really push things along, and I think it's just going to help the fandom survive in a weird way of saying it. Like it's not up to these big corporations to keep us around as
Yeah,
fans, But getting these stupid little tumblers and these little knickknacks that just say Star Wars or Star Wars May the Fourth on them, which again, please next year don't go with the droids design. Like, just don't. It's such a silly little. It just doesn't look that good. But I'm really hoping that this May the Fourth can be something that is a successful one, because being super successful, I think, is what's going to help the future of it and make sure that we keep getting a lot more of this advertisement and this big name backing, which is important, of course, for a franchise to survive.
Yeah, it does. I mean, we don't need every corporation, but
Yeah.
it definitely does help enforce or magnify everything about, especially. I'm surprised if this happened about 10, in the 90s, this made
Mm-hmm.
the we had official May the 4th, we'd see, all the Coke cans and all the Sprite cans would all have
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars characters on them like they did back then.
Yeah, they would definitely be
Or
saying
chip
"May
bag
the
of Star
Fourth be
Wars.
with you."
We're not really getting that, so it's kind of disappointing
Mm-hmm.
that these stores are having Star Wars support, but you go in the store and you don't really notice it.
Right.
Most of it, I think, is online. I think there's only a few places, and most of them are Disney related. That it's like the parks and their accompanying stores.
Right.
Well, speaking of, I don't think I mentioned this. Also, we were talking about the Disney Store website has a big teaser for the Dark Side.
Oh yeah.
They have a bunch of stuff apparently dropping on May the 4th. Dark Side related is what they say. All I know is
My
about the new
wallet
Darth Maul.
is weeping. I am already rearing to spend far more than I should.
I wish I had the money too.
Right.
May's always been the lowest for me, so it sucks because it's when a lot of things drop or a
Yeah.
lot of things happen. But I usually don't have a lot of money during May. It happens.
Yeah, I get that. It's not going to be helpful for me this year. It's definitely going to be getting in the way of a few things, but I'll have to at least get a little bit of something.
Yeah.
The signing for one, thankfully that was a free thing ran by a public library, so I was like, yay! I just had to register to get up there, but yeah, I feel like it's a great marketing tip too for a business to have. Like, if you're going to be a fan base that's this long lasting and this big, a day like this, it's worth it. It's awesome. And if I,
It only helps you. I don't
yeah,
know
it only
why.
helps you. And then, like, for
Yeah,
me, I love the next day the more. Was it Revenge of the Sixth, as everyone calls it, or because they the Revenge of the Sith. So that's always been that's actually my personal favorite day. It's not as well loved, of course, but
well, yeah. The Revenge of the Fifth is typically like the Empire Day, and I guess
yeah.
Sixth of the Sith. Um,
But it's a fun little fact that we get like this little week almost of May to really celebrate Star Wars and just be nerds all with each other. But it's like a celebration that's worldwide. You don't have to go to a con and pay to go to Japan to
yeah,
enjoy this May the Fourth kind of celebration. And you say May the Fourth be with you. People respond. Oh, cool, they're a Star Wars fan too. The things like that's what really makes this zeitgeist, makes this culture of it all. That's one of the things I think that keeps new blood pumping in, and it keeps it just interesting. It doesn't ever get stagnant as long as we're constantly just having fun with it. And remembering, if you're into you're a big kid at heart. Like, you can't be into these movies and be super serious and super, stern. These are silly movies that are just meant to make everyone happy and hopeful, and to really shed light on subjects that the world revolves around. And that's what I love about Star Wars. And that's what I loved kind of about the end of the Bad Batch, because let me tell you what, guys, this finale was pretty amazing. It was very, very well tied up. It was very happier than I ever expected it to be. I was really expecting some sadness in there. And I think that me and Mike would agree a little, I wouldn't say lacking, but I expected grandiose and
Yeah,
got good. I got something good. What I expected was like way up here. And that's my own, I guess boo me, that's my fault. But
yeah. I kind of lowered my expectations at
mm-hmm.
first, and then I was telling you earlier that the official Star Wars channels dropped several pictures and teasers of culminating the whole season. Especially characters that are major characters but only showed up for a couple minutes. Um, like Asajj
Yeah.
and previous characters from other season. And they're showing them off like Rex and stuff like that. And they even have the character portraits right this morning, and some last night. And
Yep.
so my thought is, oh, we're gonna see all of them together. That's exciting. Especially I watched the teaser, and it looks like they're building up to something. But I didn't see a single one of them. I heard Rex's name drop once, and I
Yeah.
think that was it. It's like, hey, go notify Rex. No, I think we're good. Let's go.
Right. Exactly. It was, though, all around, no spoiler, amazing. So if you haven't watched it, I'd highly recommend you go watch it and then come back and watch the rest of this podcast. Okay, hey, thanks for coming back. So spoilers from here on out. We're opening up with, of course, the guys are not playing around. They're going to get in, and I'll give it this: the episode uses its 50 minutes to good advantage, and it immediately gets into the shit. Like it
Well,
immediately tears it open.
well, not only that was we get the surprise of you said it. We get the surprise of 50 minutes. We weren't
Yes,
even known we were gonna get a full 50 minutes.
yeah, that was
Well,
awesome.
because we've been getting like 20 24 minute episodes, so
Hmm.
all of a sudden we getting a 50-minute episode. I remember last night when it dropped, I wasn't gonna. I wait to watch it with my wife, and I immediately jumped on to see how long the episode was, and I saw 50 minutes. I was pretty excited. I was like, at least we're
Yeah,
gonna get something.
right.
Didn't There's some parts I didn't expect. The ending was I they yeah, we could talk about the ending. It's not that it was bad. It came out of nowhere. So that was surprising. Um, but yeah, the we literally start off continuation from the
Yeah,
previous episode.
boys in the
Um,
jungle making their way. Wreckers hurt, but they're doing what they can, and the kids are planning an escape. It's awesome because we get Emery and Echo working together. They're going down to see and trying to get the kids at least, or get Omega. Well, Omega and the kids are already like, screw this. They find a way out. They get the doctor, messed up. They get to escape. They sabotage the droid so it guards the door, kind of thing. And they get out with baby on back and everything. They're able to climb out and get the hell out of there. And that's a fun little moment. Of course, Echo and Emery, of course, walk in. They're like,
mm,
God damn it! Of course, they're not here. But Echo's smart enough to immediately start like putting two and two together and realizing what's going on. And kind of like what everyone thought, I didn't think it would be this easy.
yeah,
Echo, uh, Echo says it. Echo really fucking. They laugh so hard. The Zillow Beast is freed by Omega. Uh, all the sirens are going off. I love when Emery looks at Echo and goes, "Oh, they freed the Zillow. Does he think that's Omega? Yeah, it's Omega. Well, how do you know that? That's what I would have done."
yeah. It's also funny too when the boys, the other
Yep.
ones, they see this Zilla Beast crash out of it, and he goes, and then he says, "Who do you think did that? Omega or Echo?" And goes,
Omega.
"Omega." Yeah,
Yep. They immediately just know it was Omega. Because yeah, the Zillow Beast just starts to, of course, cause rampage. This is an extremely powerful creature, and it's not going to be held in this cage anymore now that it's gone. It immediately tears out. It finds a way
yeah.
out of Tantus, and it escapes. And that is
It's
the breach that the Bad Batch will use to pretty much get in and out for this episode.
it's one of the most devastating creatures in Star Wars for sure. So yeah, that
Yeah.
being out is a big deal.
Yes.
Um,
The
so
Zillow Beast is what, lightsaber resistant skin, so blasters aren't going to do anything. That
it
that's
it absorbs like energy, and then
mm-hmm.
it can like feed off of it and grow.
Yes. So that's going to be the big thing, is that this creature is not going to just go quietly. It is going to 100% be able to just live on Tantus now, and it might
Well, I
become
mean,
a problem
Tantus is
later. But
yeah, Tantus is pretty much gone
yeah,
because you just released a foreign creature, and there's like things the shows don't even think about how like the effective environments and influencing an
right.
outside, especially how devastating it is on our planet to introduce things from other continents,
Hmm.
let alone from another planet, and let alone one of the strongest like creatures in all the galaxy.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the planet's pretty much just it's its home now, and it
Yeah, the ecosystem is flipped.
and so yeah, I mean that planet was already messed up because they've been releasing creatures already. I bet you that bear creature was probably released by them.
Yeah.
Who knows? But they were shown that they were experimenting on creatures, so
Hmm.
I'm not surprised. But yeah, they let it out, and they surprisingly are unharmed.
Right.
Um, and then they show some funny stuff with little comedy, like the baby finally falls asleep from all the destruction.
Yep. Of course, the baby is a part of the crying, though. They get some kind of found at first, but it's okay because the Zillibeast gets out, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
And then we have the moment in which Omega does meet up with Echo, like with Emery. They're like, "Oh yeah, get these kids the fuck out of here, go!" And that's where we mention Rex. Go to these coordinates, say Rex and this and blah blah blah. But they notice that the batch are captured and now they're all in Tantus.
yeah.
All right,
We get Hemlock. He gets word that he is getting in trouble with good old Tarkin,
Tarkin's gonna
and
show up.
he's like, don't worry, I got this, and I got something up my sleeve, and so he goes and releases his little experiment operatives.
Which I
Um,
love, but also
I
now it's a
like
thing of
how
like now I want to know more though. Like what were they
yeah,
though? Now I'm happy they
well
didn't. None of them were tech. There's no confirmation. There's no
yeah,
demasking.
well
Tech is dead and gone.
they pretty much kill them all, anyways.
Yeah.
There's one that they kept focusing on that had a visor or like
Hmm.
goggle looking visor thing that looked kind of like tech, and I'm like, why do they keep focusing on this one for no reason?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be tech? And of course at the end he gets shot several times. Like, well, if it was tech, he's dead.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't matter now. I'm
Yeah, they
happy they
all
didn't dehelmet any of them. I'm happy they didn't try
yeah.
this crazy redemption story with Cody or Tech being one of the crazy X clones, but because it was suspenseful enough, we didn't need this extra layer on top of it. And I'm happy that their
Yeah.
death meant something and it like his
Well,
memories stayed intact.
there actually was a moment where one of them gets like knocked down and their helmet flies off, but they like cut it off like with the scenery, you can't see their face, and
Hmm.
they put the helmet back on before you could see their face. And so they're legitimately like not giving you a chance to see the face, so you can't
Right.
make any assumptions.
Yep.
It feels like they specifically like, hey, we're just gonna hide it.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Stop
think
thinking about it.
this
They're,
clone is Cody or something.
it's all a red herring. It's just meant to be something for
But it
people
was
to look at.
great designs. I think the
And great
previous X.
fights and great, yeah.
Yeah, because the previous one we have looks similar to
Hmm.
the second one because we only seen like two, and the
Yes.
first two look really close.
But then the
So I
other
wasn't
ones did not.
yeah, expecting them all to be like different weapons.
Hmm.
Well, he did say they've changed.
Yeah.
He like upgraded them, so and they were very ruthless.
Very.
Fighting style, like he stabbed the clone one, got stabbed through the wall out of nowhere.
I
I
mean,
don't know if you remember that scene. That was pretty
Crosshair
nuts.
got his hand chopped off
Oh yeah, that too.
like
Um,
immediately.
and he could have just killed Crosshair, but he's
Hmm.
like, "What are you gonna do without your shooting hand?" And
Yeah.
he said something about you got to be careful with that shooting, more
Yep.
careful with the shooting hand. Just cuts it off.
Right
He
there. One
tortured him instead
shink.
of killing him.
Yeah. So they're
And
they're definitely whatever they were. If they were clones, or they're not now. So I'm happy they're
yeah,
just dead and gone, and they can rest peacefully. And the nightmare is over, like Five said, pretty much. Um, but they also then, because of that, like they free all these other clones, and we do get our kind of small clone rebellion. Not as big, fancy as we might have thought it was going to be, but it happens. These clones are getting out. Like they're going to try and free them as much as they can.
and Rampart does his thing.
Yeah. Oh my god, that scene was so amazing.
I was like, you better blow him up
So
because I've seen
Rampart,
her like
yeah,
holding the
Nala
thermal
Say
detonators.
is not going to, after she's freed, is not going to allow the Empire to have her research. She's going to destroy the archives. Well, Rampart figures if he gets the data pad and downloads it, then he will have a bargaining chip to get back on with the Empire, and get back with the Emperor's good side. Well, he's gonna shoot now to say, but she's been loading a thermal detonator the entire time, just having a dead man switch now in her hand. He shoots her. Oh man, I was so angry, and then it drops and it goes off right under him, and I was like, yeah.
I kind of figured he was gonna get away with it just because
Mm-hmm.
the Emperor does succeed with this necromancer program,
Right.
um, but he doesn't. So I'm guessing there's either another
Well, that would
experiments
explain
going
to
on,
me
or
why, like, so Snoke is ugly as hell and not that great and not as good of a clone, and the Palpatine one takes forever until he finds a dyad, pretty much, because they got set back. And that's probably why they were looking so fiercely for Grogu come the Mandalorian timeline. Because again, all this research and all this time spent just got reset. So the Empire's probably been hustling to get back into having a good source of midi-chlorian clones and kids and stuff.
yeah. But yeah, we get not many clones make it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then but all the children make it out. I think it's funny that I forgot her name, the
Emery.
clone Emery. She it's funny because she goes along with everything until other children are involved. She's fine if Omega's involved, but I mean she
Yeah.
kind of is upset, but she still goes along with everything. But then she sees the other children, and she's like,
Too much.
it's it's not they're not non-clone children are involved. That's my
No.
line right there. You were close with the clone child, but non-clone children, okay, that's the line I gotta you can't.
Right. But man, it was a. I knew she was gonna turn, and she does it so quick. She's immediately
Yeah.
like, "Come on, I gotta help you. You gotta help me. This is gonna work." I was like, "Oh damn, she's not even gonna like need a talking to. She's just immediately down to say fuck Hemlock, who, by the way,
Yeah.
really shows as much evil as he has this season and this episode, and it was a good relief because as things continue on, the batch will come together. They get freed. They try to escape. Hemlock's like, not gonna happen. Finally does capture Omega. He's taking her away as they fight off the last of these X-clones. They win this major fight, run after Scorch and Hemlock,
Yeah,
and
Scorch just gets eaten.
oh man, Scorch gets shot up. Which,
He
hey, at
doesn't
least
even.
the rest of his squad
I,
went out with more honor if they died
yeah, I
pre-Order
was waiting.
66.
I was hoping he'd be more of a fight. When he gets
Yeah,
shot in the back, he didn't even.
he gets lit up. They're not playing anymore, dude. Clone Force 99 is not going to play around with him.
Yeah,
So
and Hemlock for Samarty is using her as a
a
shield
human shield,
when.
that was dumb. Yeah, because even she goes, "You're not going to kill me.
Yeah,
You're
they know he needs her, so
yeah."
like he's not gonna kill her. Like they could have just walked up and just knocked him out. Like
Yep, and just like they were trained, which of course Crosshair doubts himself like always, but Hunter believes in him. Uses his offhand. Omega stabs Hemlock in the thigh, so he kind of like reacts by raising his arm. Omega ducks down as much as she can. They shoot the binders, and then they just fucking fill Hemlock full of lasers.
I just want to say,
Okay,
don't
hey,
ever.
and
If you're ever in a hostage situation, don't ever stab the guy, your person in the leg, because they're not gonna probably react that way. They're
yeah,
probably gonna just shoot you.
unless they don't want to kill you like Hemlock, but it's a pretty hard chance to take. They might
Yeah.
just accidentally pull the trigger.
Well, even just the
Regardless,
reaction
yeah,
to they might
exactly.
just. It's just too risky to do
Yeah,
that.
but it was an amazing scene, and just like with Hemlock, with many others, I noticed they shot him in the head like 4 times and in the body like 3 times. Like this whole episode, the X clones, everyone, they were just tapping. There was no more stunning. There was no stunning. It
It's
was
so
all
funny
headshots.
they set it up the stage to be like an epic death.
Mm-hmm.
But when it came to him actually dying, it was one and done. Sometimes you got to do that with enemies.
Yeah.
Well, I hate the dramatic deaths. Sometimes they get annoying, and I'm so glad they just shot him several times
Yep.
and no question that
And then he did the tech fall, so he got to fall just like Tech did.
except we know for sure he's not gonna survive because he
Yeah.
got.
Oh, he got blasted in the head.
And in case you're worried about like if they recover his body or whatever, that Tarkin's not going to recover
Oh,
that body.
dude, that's what I love the most because at the end you see Tarkin, he's in there, he assesses the damage, and they say that going to remove all funding from this project, from Project Necromancer, and they're going to put it into Project Stardust, which is the Death Star. So no one's gonna even look for his killers. No one cares about Omega. No one cares about Clone Force 99. They did it. They did it. I
There's
did
no,
not
yeah, there's
expect this happy of an ending. I was really expecting some bad shit to happen. But also, we get no Rex. We get no Wolf. We get no Cody. We get no Gregor. We get no. There's a lot of untold still, and I don't know if they're going to
I'm hoping
continue.
they,
Like maybe they're going to surprise us with more of series. I don't know.
like I said, I think a good Tales of for
Hmm.
them would be perfect. I don't know if there's enough for a series. I mean, I would love it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, yeah, it was a surprise. But I like that the part where they had Tarkin show up and he
Yeah.
says divert the Stardust, because that's very canon, because that's what kept happening.
Hmm.
He actually kept taking projects away and diverting all the funding. That was a big deal with the TIE Defender program, um, which
Yeah.
is that got diverted. That was the
Which
whole
would have
deal of give her
really would have helped the Empire.
the later Thrawn novels, where he's trying to investigate,
Yes.
why he can't get funding. Where's all the secrecy and funding going to? And he finds out about the Death Star.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, the TIE Defender definitely would have. I mean, you put all your money in one basket,
You're
all your
bound
eggs
to.
in one
Yeah.
basket. It's
Exactly.
gonna You drop the basket and all the eggs are gone. So, uh, and yeah, that part was a pretty solid ending, and it made sense. Reason why Tarkin's not going after the Bad Batch is because he's got bigger things to worry about.
Right.
He sees things on a bigger grand scale of things,
Hmm.
and also the reason why the information is so hard to recover, why it
Yeah.
was in one spot, was because the leaders of the Empire are all competing against one another, and so they don't share information, because if they do, somebody's going to take that information
Yep.
and just take it away from him, and
Use it
he's
against
useless at it.
them, and exactly. And that's the big downfall with those kind of evil regimes is how many people are vying for power by backstabbing everyone around them. It's always been the downfall of the Sith empires, is that exact notion. But I loved this because it was the happiest ending we've really seen in a while, where they really did get to just kind of survive.
Yeah, it's crazy. They just so it ends. Not only did they always do the Star Wars thing, was cutting close with the hyperspace jump, and all of a
And
sudden
then, yeah,
Empire,
yeah, true, true. The three
and then
Star Destroyers.
it transitioned with like Tarkin, like we gotta like just basically clean the slate and divert
Yep.
everything to Stardust, and then all of a sudden transition to the planet.
Pabu.
They're running around, and he said, "What are the clones gonna do? Whatever they want." All of
Yep.
a sudden, older Omega. It's like there's no
Yep.
like
And
10,
oh
20,
man,
10 years
but it was
later.
such a
Just
good scene. Like we see her,
I was like, that's not her haircut. Like
yeah, we just see someone turn on some lights, and all of a sudden it's kind of like, was that Fee? No, that wasn't Fee. Oh my God, it's older Omega with long ponytail slash dreads, a yellow bomber jacket, a little bit more tan now, and she turns it on, and we see old Grandpa Hunter with Batcher as well. And I'm a little sad we didn't get to see Grandpa Crosshair and Wrecker, because that would have been Grandpa Wrecker would have been so much fun. I need Grandpa Wrecker in
I'm
my
glad we
life
didn't
so
see
bad.
Grandpa Echo, because that'd be kind of gross. Cause
True.
he,
But
cause
hey, maybe
he already looked
I
dead.
hope Echo
So
got to live with them and he didn't just die out somewhere. And it sucks that Rex, like, how did Rex not get to know about Pabu? That's not fair. He had to live on a little
yeah,
fucking shit
well,
planet with.
yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, he was too busy, but it would have been nice for him to go back to Pabu.
It would
Um,
have been a way better existence.
cause he basically was living like he was like some kind of like apocalyptic type deal,
Yeah.
because there were
Well,
like
he was
broken
from.
stuff,
He pretty much lived like he was in the sea, like he was in Waterworld.
and they were like deep hiding too. So
Yeah.
they must have done something crazy.
I could see that being the reason too, though. But yeah, we got to see Old Man Hunter, and it's an amazing scene where Omega talks about the rebellion needing pilots. So that when I immediately heard that, I went, "There it is. There's the
Yeah.
next show right there. That's 100% going to be the next show. Whether we
If
get it
they
live
do,
action and we get her in
yeah.
Rangers of the Frontier, or it's another animated series where we're going to be getting now instead of the Clone Wars, which is now over because of the Bad Batch, we're getting into normal soldier like rebellion style skirmishes and stuff.
What I'd like a show focused on X-Wing dogfighting, like the old
Mm-hmm.
school, um, like the X-Wing video games in the past.
Yeah.
I like just get a show focused mostly on ship combat, just pilots like
Mm-hmm.
just flying in, destroying things, flying out, just fighting going on.
Yeah. Or maybe
Um,
Omega makes it into Gold Squadron or something cool like that.
I think would be pretty cool. Um,
I would love to
that
see more Omega.
that would be a way to get more going, progressing
Mm-hmm.
without more of the same. Something completely different. We get a lot more scenery.
Yeah.
Because we could see more bad jumps at the planets,
Mm-hmm.
of them like flying into planets or attacking ships, and that's also how they could get it without like clashing. Um, though if they want to just throw in the Death Star run randomly, even though we never heard that an Australian female voice, but maybe she wasn't on that channel. Who knows?
Right. Exactly. I mean, for all sakes though, we could also lead into the fact where we could get her and Zeb flying together for a little bit. Like they don't even they could do
Yeah.
resistance stuff too and move it a little bit further ahead.
Yeah,
Um,
you're
but
right.
do you?
We could do post Empire
Yeah.
with those guys. That'd be interesting. Her and Zeb, or we get our favorite pilot back if they want to do a live
Yeah.
action. Uh,
That's the big thing.
that
So that's what I would be wondering is if there would be another live action or if they would do animated. If they did live action, I would hope that it's either in the Book of Boba Fett where she gets to meet her brother because god damn it that needs to happen, or I could see it more honestly in Rangers of the Frontier.
I mean, it was an awesome show. It'd be interesting. I wouldn't know who would play her. It'd be difficult because you need,
Right.
I guess, a semi-dark and semi-tan skin, blonde hair,
Yeah, some type of
really light
Polynesian
blonde hair.
Islander.
Oh, she was pretty whitened, so they could probably get away with light tan.
Hmm.
But strong Australian accent.
Yeah.
Um, Sadly, her voice actor wouldn't be able to play her because she has none of those features. She's Asian and
But it's still hella Australian.
dark hair. Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. And then she needs to be a little bit older by that time
Hmm.
too, because this is
She'd be what, like
she'd be
late 40s, almost 50s.
yeah, you can't use some of these actresses that have been popular
I
lately.
mean, it's Tamora Morrison. That's the best way. Like that, she would be the same kind of
With the
ages.
blonde wig,
Yeah.
Tamora Morrison with the blonde wig, the long blonde hair, whatever.
But yeah, no, they would have to be someone who's about his age, especially if they're going to be doing resistance. With the rebellion, then yeah, she's only like 30 something.
Yeah. Well, no, the rebellion.
I
It
guess
all
she's
depends
almost
on what
20s.
part.
Yeah.
She's
Because
right.
she
Well,
was,
we see
yeah.
her. She looks like 17, 18,
You think
and
that young? I think
she's
she's at least
yeah.
20.
She looks like the age they tried to make Luke.
Okay.
She looks really young to me, and I don't think it's too big of a jump because I think Hunter would be dead if it was around 30,
Yeah. Oh,
because
yeah, it's very true.
they age pretty quickly.
Yeah. But it's definitely going to open up for a lot of stuff. I do want to see more, honestly. I hope we get to see more of Omega because it's such a fun story. I really want her to meet her brother. God, I want her to meet her brother so bad. It'd be cool if she met him at any timeline. It'd be fun for Book of Boba Fett because they would actually get along better. It would be maybe
I
more
think
fun if she met young Boba Fett and he was like, I don't care.
yeah, it would make more sense if they did the Rangers or
Hmm.
they do like Book of Boba Fett season 2, and then they tease her in,
Right.
like they did with Boba and Mandalorian. There's like an episode, and then where he showed up, and then they're like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna have a Boba Fett show.
Hmm.
Um, that'd be cool. Will they do it? Probably not. I think it'd be an awesome show. Whether they do it animated or live action.
Yeah.
If we do live action, I doubt we'll get Zeb. It seems like it'd be a lot of money to constantly put him on the screen.
True,
Um,
but it'd be a good call. I mean,
Unless they
they gotta have
if
aliens,
they
man.
could do if they could do a practical
Yeah,
outfit, it'd be a lot easier.
right.
Just the constant CGI.
Hmm.
I just imagine it'd be pretty costly. Uh, I don't know. I think there's potential there.
Yeah.
I, I'm hoping they don't just abandon that whole thing if they do I would love to see the Rangers.
Yeah.
Um, the when I read the synopsis and the idea for it, I was very upset that they ended up getting canceled just because of one actor.
Mm-hmm.
They could easily replaced her. I don't know why they didn't.
Right.
It could have been a different character. It didn't have to be her.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
The big thing too is like with this Omega, it's just it feels like another waste of a perfectly good story to not tell
yeah.
us what she was doing during the rebellion. Like, what missions did she go on? Did she, did she ever fly with Hera? Because everyone's already lost their shit. Like, oh my god, you mean Hera and Omega flew together? Maybe, like possibly, like that'd be awesome if they did. I don't know though.
Oh, she could have fun with the whole Ghost Crew at this
Yeah,
point. 'Cause
exactly.
they were because we don't know how far in the rebellion is. This could
Right.
be still early stages. This could be post Death Star. I doubt it's that far post Death Star, but
Hmm.
I mean they desperately need her, so it could have been any time.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it could have
Um,
been any time from the starts to the middle to the finish. She could have
I'm
showed up
just
before
waiting
Endor.
for.
She could have showed up before A New Hope.
I want to see the scene where she shows up in this random shuttle. Like, who is this like backwoods pilot with this like old? I don't know what kind of shuttle, if it's
Right.
Imperial or what. They're like, "Who are you? What do you?" And she's like, "Just give me a plane." They're like, "No, like we already." It's like
My
maybe,
name's
maybe,
Omega. Just give me a ship
maybe that's where they
sandwich.
let Luke be in so much
Yeah.
confidence. It's like we trusted this backwoods pilot, and she's amazing. Let's just do
Right.
because they. This is the biggest thing with me with episode 4 is like it's just Farm Boy shows up out of nowhere. It's like let's give him a ship and let's put him give him some authority. Let's
Hmm.
just let's just trust him with a lot of money. It's no big deal.
Actually, we have a long running standard of these backwoods pilots coming in and just
But it's
being
like
really awesome.
it's like this guy that's like over there pumping fuel. It's like, man, I had to join. I had to start. I had to work my way up to pump fuel. I wanted to fly up
You're from
an X-wing.
Coruscant. Nobody cares. City boy. Nobody flies like a city boy. I
And
swear.
this is so funny with the start with the episode 4. If you rewatch it and
Hmm.
just like look at Luke from an outside perspective, like who's this arrogant punk that
Right.
says he could just like shoot? Like I could. He's talking about shooting this at home. Like what are you talking about?
I could bullseye a Womp with my old
Yeah,
T-16 Skyhopper. Who the hell are you?
the pilots he's talking to, like Wedge and stuff, have like
Yeah.
already been fighting battles, and they've actually like been
Right.
killed. Like they have like stuff under their wings. Like they've earned their say, and like he just showed up. And the helmet that I have back here that he throws on has the stickers typically you put on for like achievements.
Yeah.
And so he's like grabs somebody's old helmet, probably somebody that died that like is a
Yeah.
veteran that has all these like kills and
Right.
stuff. And
Just throws it on and gets going. Red 4, red 5, let's go.
I had a feeling he is the main character. Let's just let him run.
Yeah,
Run.
exactly. Oh man, it's not like sadly, it's not like an anime where their hair is bright blue and it's easy to tell. We just got to go by how they act.
If Star Wars made sense, it'd be like Luke shows up and he's out there just scrubbing the floor,
Right.
watching the X-wings fly off.
Yeah, they're like, all right, well, you get us fueled up and we'll take off. Thanks a lot, farm boy. Oh man, wow, hey, good job. You fueled us up quicker than anyone ever has before. It's the Force.
Like
Oh wow, cool.
it's like what's your experience with flying? Have you gone to flight school? Like how many ships have you flown? Well, I've
Right.
flown this one shuttle a couple times, but that's about it. It's like
Yeah. On
what about
Tatooine. Never
what?
left
Yeah, what about
Tatooine.
yeah? What about galaxy travel? What about fighting? What about like where's all your experience? Oh,
No. No,
my
no,
friend
no.
can speak for me, Biggs.
Yeah, Big says I can fly real good. I'll tell you, if you got any Womp Rats in space, I'll shoot them.
But it's so funny to think about that.
But at
When
least
she has
Omega would be coming in with
yeah.
like, oh, I've been in this fight, I've been in that fight, I've killed this guy, I got that guy, I've done this.
Let me show this maneuver I was told.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude, Omega would have some pretty fun stuff under her belt. I feel like she'd give young Hera maybe a bit more run for her money, which means that she'd be immediately like Hera's best friend if that's what happened. Which I think that'd be a fun dynamic to really push
I want to
on.
see if she does meet the Ghost Crew, like look at Kanan's face when she says she's a
Yes.
clone.
Oh yeah, I'm a
It's,
clone. I come from Bad Batch '99. What?
all of a sudden,
Yeah, they told me about you. They helped you. They
we
tried to
don't
kill
get the
me.
point when you say that, and then all of a sudden it pauses because it goes in Order 66 flashbacks back to Kane. Just like,
Yeah, everyone just stops. Kanan's just staring. What's he
and
doing? Oh, he's having
the
a
show,
flashback.
the show goes to flashbacks. You see the same Order 66
Yeah,
again for the 20th time,
right,
and
exactly.
pulls out his lightsaber.
I've already seen a lot of people joking about that, how awesome that would be too. Yeah, because it would be a situation too. Omega's already probably proven herself. So be like, "This is my friend Omega. Oh, thanks, Hera. I am a clone. I come from Clone Post 99. No, you can't kill her. I swear she's good." I feel like it would be a lot of fun to just interject her randomly through different scenarios. Like you just have her be like a part of the bombing squad that no one
I
really
just want to
talked
see.
to, or have her be a part of this squad no one really communicated with.
I want to see like somebody do a good cosplay of the adult Mega,
Hmm.
and just like CGI and random Star Wars scenes
Yeah,
in the
just
background,
randomly.
or just all of a sudden an X-wing pilot seat at the
Like
like,
almost every single shot of the Yavin base, whenever they're like taking off or landing, she's just somewhere in the background.
yeah, running around, or they're like in the Death Star, and she's like
Yeah.
running in between. She's
It's
in
a very
another corridor,
special
just
like black TIE fighter. What the heck? Why does
it's
it
one
look
of
so
those
different?
like it's one of those like Scooby Doo moments where they're just
Hmm.
constantly not running into each other. Like they leave, and then she shows up, and
Yeah, just barely missing everybody. And that's the best thing though about that time period though, like with the Clone Wars, is there's so many small skirmishes and smaller battles that she could have been doing her own thing, leading her own squad, and have never come in contact with pretty much any of them.
I want to
Which
see her
that'd be
join
fun.
Saw's. I want to see her join Saw's squad. I want to see her get like ruthless.
Oh, Sal, when her would have words, she would not like Sal Guerrero. She would not like him at all. After what he did and got like Tech in trouble, after like his way of acting and how he'll
Yeah.
like take out innocents, no, she would not like Sal Guerrero
Well, I
whatsoever.
would be funny if she does see him later on when she does. If she just doing the rebellion and she
Hmm.
bumps into him, if he remembers her. You're that clone.
Yeah, from that one
You
mission on
fucked
this
him.
one mountain, and then
You.
she just punches him square in the fucking face. That's what I would hope for. She just
I
knocks him
mean,
out, just one
they would
hit.
just fall over at that point because he's barely
Right. I don't
standing up.
care. I don't care. Hit the cripple. Hit him. Punch him in the face. He deserves it. He killed Tech. His
Yeah.
failed mission.
It was not like you mentioned. It was not as big ending
Hmm.
as we did, but it was an ending.
It was a soft,
Um,
subtle ending with openness. So, a good Star Wars ending in the way that it ended with a very
I
open
was
ending.
I was very annoyed with the kind of fairy tale ish ending,
Hmm.
where it's like everything's good, and because I wanted some more closure. Because the thing I'm afraid of with the whole like I'm joining the rebellion,
Yeah.
part of me is scared that they're never gonna touch on it again. And it's a cool storyline. I want
Yeah.
to hear about it, but
Hmm.
how things have been going lately, I have a feeling that we won't. So, I mean, if we could, I'll be excited. If we don't, I'll just the whole like
Yeah. I mean, the way I look at
ending.
it is May the 4th will describe a lot more shows to us, hopefully.
Yeah,
And if it doesn't, then I will be a little sad. But one thing I am hoping for is if there aren't a lot more animated shows in the pipeline, this would be the perfect one to start filling that in is Omega off in the rebellion and stuff.
I have a feeling
Omega
that
Squadron.
they're gonna keep a lot of shows to their chest until
Hmm.
probably after the movie. I'm hoping that
Celebrations
I'm
is
wrong.
a big one.
Well, I'm talking about the Grogu movie.
Yeah, yeah,
I have a
but
feeling like they're going to try to wait till they finish that time that story, and then because they got to focus on something else. But I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping they're going to drop like a new timeline or new pipeline of new shows
mhm.
coming out. Because we only know so much, and so much has either been canceled or
Mhm.
not.
Well,
It's
and if they
been
just don't make more shows, especially animated, when it's like your animation team is doing nothing now, that would be so silly to me to not be putting them to work.
yeah.
And if the only
But
shows they're going to be doing is Acolyte and Skeleton Crew, that's not enough to pad out anywhere near close to the next few
I
years.
hope I'm wrong, but I have a feeling that neither of those two shows are going to do very well.
Yeah, I hope you're wrong too. I think you will be, but I surprisingly wrong.
No, like with audience,
Yeah,
because a lot of people aren't excited about Acolyte. Most people don't even know the Skeleton Crew exists.
yeah. The
Um,
acolyte. People who aren't happy with the
I,
acolyte
I
aren't going to
hope
be
I'm
happy with anything.
I hope I'm extremely wrong.
Yeah.
I hope they're the best shows ever. I don't have a lot of confidence in Skeleton
Mm,
Crew, but we haven't really gotten much about it. So
that is true. But
just the theme
I
of
gotta
it,
say,
I
for
don't know, something's kind of cheesy.
as
So
far as the season finale went, this was nice. Again, yeah, I wanted more. I hope for more. I hope we get to make a story. But man, it was nice that, in not a cheesy way, no one was revived last second. No one
yeah,
was randomly redeemed with Tech coming back to life. It Tech stayed dead. Everyone got off safe, and it ended it because the funding moved over to Project Stardust. They really
yeah,
wrapped that up very well, I think, which is good. That
It-
was an awesome way to end it.
it's good. It's also kind of interesting how they did with cutting off the hand of Crosshair
Hmm.
in a way that's kind of like saying, hey, you're more than just a shooter.
Yeah,
It's something you can like put that as a past behind you.
yeah,
You can move on. Um, and then like Wrecker's probably maybe it has some permanent damage. He seemed like it was pretty bad, so maybe he has some residual effects.
hmm,
I think the only one they got away scot free is probably Hunter.
hmm.
Um, Echo too, but he doesn't count because
Yeah, he's already been pretty fucked up.
he got a hand, so there's also
Yeah,
that.
look at that. He got a
He he
hand.
he actually gained. Also, that was kind of touching, and I think it was really necessary
Hmm.
for the character that Omega hugged Crosshair first,
Yeah,
because he was already pretty down. If you look,
yeah.
he's already fighting so much depression
Hmm.
and
Just
anxiety
being
from just
back at Tantus.
being there, losing his hand. He feels worthless now.
Yeah.
So much things on his head, and so her hugging him, um, really, yeah, it shows. Maybe she knows that for him to come back there for
Hmm.
her was a big deal,
Right.
because he didn't want to,
Oh,
and
dude, yeah.
so you know that's in and Hunter also kind of growth of
Yeah.
accepting that he's
Oh,
got to
dude.
share Omega.
Crosshair, Hunter, like this, the growth of story from Wrecker was always kind of Wrecker, but Hunter, Crosshair especially, and Omega, their growth of story and story arc was so good. It was so amazing, I thought.
Well, and Wrecker never really felt like a competition between the two because Wrecker always kind of felt like the big brother,
Oh, 100%.
and then and Tech always kind of felt like kind of that uncle. He didn't really take a full on because he's not very emotional. So he didn't really
Yeah.
take a dad role as close as Hunter did. But Tech, not Tech, Crosshair did kind of give a fatherly role when she needed it the most, and he
Hmm.
didn't know because he wasn't around with Omega very
Yeah.
long originally.
Right.
So he didn't know that there was a kind of a bond between the two, and so there was some competition,
Hmm.
which was cool.
Yep.
And then I'm guessing Crosshair and Hunter got married so they can adopt her. But
Exactly. And a big shout out to Michelle On and to Billy D to man, how did I really Brad Willie Brad Williams. I know I can't believe I just looked at his name and just spaced on it so hardcore. But the actors who played uh, Omega, Michelle Ang, excuse me, and of course the phenomenal actor D. Bradley Baker who played everybody else.
everything else,
Yeah, every single thing else. They had some awesome messages to put out today about thank you guys for supporting them, and I just wanted to say, of course, as every fan would say, thank you to. They did such an amazing job. Omega, not of course to the same aspect of Ahsoka, because I think Ahsoka being a Jedi and having more seasons, of course, gave her more love. But Omega was another one of those characters that a lot of people hated when the show first started. And I'll
Yeah.
admit, I was one of them. Did not care for Omega whatsoever when this show first started.
I hated Ahsoka when she first
Yeah.
started too. I
And
hated,
it
yeah.
built up to be such an amazing character. They really did it again. And if they give us more seasons with Omega, it will continue to happen. She'll get way better treatment than Ahsoka does because Ahsoka has the
Yeah.
Ramirez sisters, and I
Well,
don't think they're going to do that to Omega.
well, Omega didn't get as much growth
Yeah.
as Ahsoka, so I
But that
don't
was a
have
lot
as
of
much.
forced onto Ahsoka because of the war and horrible things she went through. So,
Well, there was more episodes and more
yeah,
growth.
exactly.
And then we got to see later versions, so hopefully
Mhm.
we get the same treatment where we get like we get the return of Ahsoka when she's an
Oh,
adult.
I really do look forward to
She's a
getting a
complete
return of
badass,
Ahsoka.
so yeah, it'd be cool to see that with Omega.
Hmm.
Similar, but the opposite, where she's just like awesome pilot,
Yeah.
saboteur thing. I don't know what she's going to be. Um, but yeah, it was interesting, and somehow you made it this far in the podcast, which I doubt. And you have, I say doubt because you made this far podcast and haven't seen the Bad Batch yet,
Yeah.
or watched partially through and then kind of gave up. I have a friend that just posted about it and saying that there was talking about how they only watched half of the first season and then stopped watching it and wondered if they should get back into it. And my advice for you is yes.
Yeah.
Give it a try. Give it a shot.
Especially now that it's all out and you can just
If you
watch
like the
the hell
Clone
out of
Wars,
it.
you're gonna. If you like the Clone Wars, you're gonna like this.
Yes.
Yeah, watch it. There's no reason not to.
Hmm.
Yeah, especially we're gonna have some time before June. Watch it. Go ahead and watch it.
Hmm.
The episodes are not long. There's only 3 seasons, and they're not as long as Clone Wars. So you
Yep.
can knock it out in a couple weeks if you have the time to binge some.
If you
Yeah,
really binge it, you could probably get Bad Batch watched in like 4 days, if
you
even.
can. Well, you eat less than that because they could
Yeah.
probably knock out a season. Yeah, I'm knock out a season a day.
No problem.
Easy.
No problem.
Because they're
They're only
it's really
15
like 20
episodes at
minutes.
20
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah. And there's maybe one episode in each season that's an hour long. And barely
So,
an
yeah,
hour. It's more like 50 minutes, but
if you haven't finished it, watch it.
definitely. Highly recommend
It's a piece to the puzzle
it. Hmm.
that really kind of makes the story feel complete. But only that, it's just a good show to watch.
Yes.
But there's no Jedi. I'm sorry.
Not a one.
But
Not in a single
it's
episode except
you
for
don't
the
need
first
a
one.
you don't need a Jedi. I know we've had this kind of a Jedi drought. We
Mm.
got away from it with the Ahsoka show,
Yep.
and then we're gonna get away from it a lot with the new show. So, yeah, Star Wars isn't just Jedi's. There's other things that happen, and
Fingers
it's
crossed this
definitely
isn't the last time we see our clone boys though, because
yeah,
still a lot of questions. You know,
yeah,
I'm happy to have the story come to a hold, but I don't want it to be over forever. Like, again, in another like
yeah.
4 years, in another 5 years, I'd love more Clone War stuff just to get
Yeah.
back to seeing Rex and the boys.
I really want to see a Clone Rebellion.
Hmm.
I really Bradley is a great voice actor. I really
Yeah.
would like to see him not lose completely. I mean, he does other characters, but
Right.
not in this scale.
Yep.
Like not as much. So yeah, I would like to see some more. Let's get us now that we have most of the clone shows over.
Hmm.
We've had some canceled games.
Yeah.
Let's get us a game where the main characters are an ex-clone.
Oh, that'd be so awesome. Heck yeah, like a mercenary group that's a bunch of ex-clones come together. And that would make sense. You could then honestly, they can make it almost like that Helldivers thing where you're like, dropping on planets. If you die, it's okay, don't worry. There's a lot more of you, so don't think about it.
Or the Commando game, like a sequel, but it's
Yeah.
like the Rex group.
I know there's an XCOM style game coming out for Star Wars. I believe that's being worked on still. So if nothing else, hopefully we'll get some clonies in that bad boy.
But yeah, it'd be cool to clone Commando 2 and then have like
Mm-hmm.
maybe like Rex and Wolf and Gregor and most of those three, but you could add
Yeah.
a couple more. Those are the ones that survived that far. There could be
Right.
a couple more if they wanted to. They could throw in Wreck or maybe he. Place
And
the
maybe a
heavy.
few commandos get on the ship with the other clones and make it off, so we get another just new
Yeah,
clone
because there
commandos
are
game.
clones that survive, and there's clones that are still with Wolf. I
Right.
mean, with or we could do like yeah, it would be cool. Play out the clone
I almost feel like
rebellion.
Wolf had to be off planet this whole time during the escape from Tantus, or he would have been used somehow. Since he
Like,
knows clones better. But
well, he should have been.
it was just weird to not
I thought he
see.
was already with with Rex, wasn't he?
No, remember, he just like packs up and gets back on the ship and goes back to Tantus. They never talk him into leaving with Rex.
Oh, Wolf. I
He's
don't think he
just,
goes. I don't think he goes to Tantus. I think he just goes back to working for the Empire.
yeah, who knows where, but wherever he is, hopefully we can
They,
find him
they
soon. But
well, you could tell they plant a seed in his head that he like
mm,
because he doesn't realize the Empire is doing the Empire thing.
yeah,
So my guess is he eventually links up with Rex or Cody and the Clone Rebellion that we'll never find out about.
yeah, see, exactly. Things like that, we got plenty of time for them to try and do a little bit of something fun. But, well, guys, thank you all so much for stopping by. May you have an amazing May the 4th. Even though your May the 5th will be even better because the Sith always reigns supreme. Uh, but an amazing time to be a Star Wars fan. So much great news, great deals, great merchandise. Have a great time. Put down in the comments down below, what are you the most excited to pick up this May the 4th? And what show or TV thing are you hoping for a new drop or a new trailer for? Have an amazing rest of your week. Thank you all so much for stopping by. And always remember, the Force will serve you well.
May the Force be with you. I want to start this new May the 4th tradition.